a stimulating and enriching physical and psychosocial environment, the chances of the child's brain developing to its potential are considerably and often irreversibly reduced. This stage of life is also important as foundation for the inculcation of social values and personal habits which are known to last for lifetime. Okay, and this is what follows logically is crucial importance to investing in these early years to ensure an enabling environment for every child and thereby a sound foundation for life, which is not only the right of every child, but which will also impact in the long term the quality of human capital available to a country. Early childhood derives its importance from the rationale. It makes a positive contribution to children's long-term development and learning by facilitating and enabling and stimulating environment in these foundation stages of lifelong learning. ECC must be promoted for fostering psychosocial, nutritional, health and educational development of young children. ECC is essential for countering the physical, intellectual and emotional deprivation of the children belonging to underprivileged groups and for first-generation learners in the society. From the perspective of the community, ECC is support for universalization of elementary education and also indirectly influences enrollment and retention of girls in primary schools by providing substitute care facilities for younger siblings. ECC is also envisaged in the role of a support service to women. The preschool education component of ECC has demonstrated a positive impact on retention rates and achievement level in primary grades. However, it is important to note that attendance in preschool not automatically guarantees better academic achievement. Let's take a quick look at what ECC is: a balanced, play-based program of language, cognitive, creative and psychomotor activities, a child-centered program catering to individual child's learning and emotional needs through individual small and large group activities and one-to-one communication, a school readiness program which readies children for learning to read, write and arithmetic later, a program which indirectly promotes self-control and thereby inner discipline in children through interaction. ECC is not very important, a syllabus-bound program for teaching 3 hours, nor a song and a rhyme and go-home approach. A teacher-centered program that follows formal classroom approach in school, a program for formally teaching reading, writing and arithmetic which is to be done in primary, a program which demands unquestioning obedience or exercise strict classroom discipline. Need for ECCE, again I will not go because Ms. Usha has already shared, but quick look that it is recognized by national policy on education, its base for primary education and important inputs in the strategy of human resource development as a feeder and support program for primary education. In the context of education for all, expansion of early childhood care and education activities to include families and communities, especially for the poor and the disadvantaged children in remote and rural areas is immensely applied. ECC aims at training rural youth, girls, mothers and SC and STs with special focus on women to enable them to involve in preschool, balwadis, creche and daycare centers in their own village, town or in neighboring localities. It will thus help in achieving the national goal of education for all by orienting needed personnel for ECC. And this is what our former Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru shared. When I say education, I don't mean just reading, writing and all that, but the capacity to do things in the modern world in several and thousand ways. And this leads to inevitably to the spread of education to all the country. That, of course, ought to be done at the initial stages and ought to be done in the initial stages and the initial stages. It is not now recognized, begin from the birth, not from your primary school, but from the pre-primary school. That is highly important. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Spurser. And you just be there where you are, and you can ask questions. She's
Gandhian School, a 50-year-old organization. Now, I have an appeal with everybody who is sitting down over here, are the architects of the humanity of the future. We have to save the humanity, we have to save the country. Now, as the madam said, that the child should be admitted at 1.5, and even because of the employment, they are admitting them as a play school or daycare, whatever it means. But it is said that why the woman is called as the mother of, who is the first teacher of the child, why not the father? Because the mother has been given that quality by the Almighty to teach not only the mother tongue but all the culture of the family, the dynasty and the country. Therefore, the child has to be taken care, who is the future human resource of the nation. So the seed, if I bring a seed from the Kashmir and put it in Hyderabad, I will not get the apple plant over here. Even if I appoint 10 gardeners for it also. So why should a child be put under the care of, say, extra care, that and this? So therefore, I go with him, the child should be sent to the school at 3 or 5, provided he will come out with his own, innate quality that he has.
Absolutely. I don't.
He says that it should be 5 years, not 1.5 years.
Well, yes, I would say yes and no. And I totally agree with the grandfather over there who was talking about his son. But let me just make the shift of perception. I say, this is a mic. I have not seen a 3D. If I'm seeing it from here, you are seeing it from there. Let's see the picture as a whole. Now, when we talk of the earlier times, we say that we had these joint families. And not the mother is so young and she has a baby. I'm answering all the questions, trying to see this. What I see in families today is that every bite, every morsel is given in front of the television, which actually kills out the creativity. Now, when a child was growing in your time, when you were growing and I was growing, there was not TV everywhere, and we had so much of fun playing. When winter came and summers passed by, we never knew, because each day was a new day and each moment our hearts were beating as fast as joy. Now, when we talk of this 5-year program, if we keep the child back home, you see, these learning years, these formative years are very crucial. I do agree with the kind of system, with the kind of schools that we see today, it's better to keep them home than to send them there.
So the child is left alone with nanny, or they are in a daycare center, where there needs to be something that early intervention has to be there. How many of you know about autism or ADHD in your state? They just say,
Ms. Abhirami, I like to put it this way. Thank you very much, Ms. Abhirami, Ms. Aditi. I think they were trying to put their viewpoints and said that they were trying to put their viewpoints, and they were saying that it's essential for the children to come easy, as you do not know how to handle children when it comes to learning interventions, and you will not know what the children are lacking. Probably they are experts in the field, and they'll be able to answer. And I understand the viewpoint. You said as they join families, it's required to be sending these children to easy centers. Have I got the point correct? Yes.
We moved to the...
Give us just one more question here for Consul Naliwala, and just one more question here. What factors should be considered when planning developmentally appropriate curriculum?
Okay, I'll make it very fast. Second is teaching to enhance development of learning. Basically, again, the third principle, the third factor is to plan with state standards and other mandates in place using the curriculum to achieve important goals. The fourth factor assessing child development and learning includes assessing the children's progress and achievements in ongoing strategic, purposeful way. And the last factor is establishing reciprocal relationship with families. So these are the factors.
Thank you, Ms. Foster, to have given this point. And this gentleman here was wanting to ask a question. Yes, it's a question.
It's not a question really. It's just a statement to wrap this panel's large discussion.
Usually in Andhra Pradesh, the debate goes to the next level, whether you have the IIT foundation at LKG classes or not.